Okay, Maya's most commonly asked questions. Video. We're going to go through some of the commonly asked questions all in one place so I can just give this to the new student and says, hey, here you go. One thing that you should know, you're a new student, so you should just watch. You shouldn't actually participate in this. Just watch, and when these questions come up, you can be able to reference them all in one video. Sound wondrous? Yes. Okay. First thing, students always ask me, how am I doing this? How am I making it so when I click a cube, it automatically pops up with a cube? That is under Create, Polygon Primitives, Interactive Creation. Whenever I click on a cube, it's automatically in the scene, and there it is. Commonly asked question 2. What's an OBJ? Okay, I'm going to give you OBJ files, and you're going to be importing them in. It's File, Import, Desktop, OBJ. There's your OBJ. How do you export an OBJ? Window, Settings and Preferences, Plugin Manager. Go to OBJ Export, put a box here, or check here and here, sorry. File, Export Selection, Cube 2, and I'll export that to the desktop. Commonly asked question, what is an OBJ? An OBJ is a legacy-friendly file. Also, software-friendly. So if you want to import that box into 3D Studio Max, ZBrush, Blender, and a few other 1,000 programs, it'll actually work. If you look at it, if you open it up, it contains all the coordinates of the vertices, all the coordinates of the UVs, and the world position in which it lives, along with whatever material it might have on. Okay, you can change things. Don't do it unless you're pro. Close out the file. Why did it export two files? This is a material file. It's useless. Delete it. It does serve some merit in some programs, but in most cases all it does is it makes an extra material in that program, and it's a pain to get rid of, so you should probably delete it right now. Okay, let's go back to Maya. This cube, it sucks. Please don't rely on it as a new person. Here is why. I'll show you how to toggle it on and off though, because that seems to be another commonly asked question is, how do I get my cube back? All right, let me compare cubes to what it really is. I'm going to go to the top view here. Then I'm going to show you the orthographic top. Orthographic top is correct. Cube top bad. Okay. Why? Well, let me go into wireframe on this side just to show you. This is the actual what it's supposed to look like, because in the orthographic view I should be able to click vertices and several vertices can move around. Well, in this area I would have to click in two different places just to get it to actually work, and I could accidentally screw up my box. Okay, so here I'm moving a vertice, and here is now my box and how it looks. Okay, jacked up, right? So I would not rely on the orthographic variation of the cube. Always use the orthographic top. Lose the cube, in other words. Okay, that being said, students never listen to you anyway, so here's how to take the cube and turn it on and off. Window, Settings and Preferences, Preferences. Under View Cube, you can toggle it off by going here. Okay. because there are a few legacy students out there that says, well, I cannot perform without my top or a cube. Okay, now let's see what. There's a button somewhere on the keyboard that turns off the perspective view or wrecks it. How to get a new perspective view is go to Panels, Perspective, New. Now you can switch between the jacked up version and the new version. Okay, another question. How do I turn on backface culling? That's shading, backface culling. Backface culling is the ability to only see the polygons one-sided. So as you can see, if I go into this cube, I can see through the cube. If backface culling is off, I can't see through the cube. All programs are usually single-sided with their polygons. So if you had I'll just give you an example. If you had this cube, it looks just fine here in Maya, but in another application, it's going to look like this. Normals, how do I turn them on? Display, polygons, face normals. This just shows what direction the normals are facing in order to see what direction your box is. If they're facing in, it's going to look like this. If they're facing out, you can reverse them by going over here. The box looks like this. So in some cases, I'm going to say, please reverse your normals. That's how you do it. Here's another commonly asked question. What happens if I screw up Maya? And this happens all the time, okay, to the point where it's really too bad for me to even, as an instructor, fix it myself. Close out of Maya. Don't save anything. Go into Documents, Maya. This directory right here exists. It could be either 32 or 64. You can either delete it or rename it. I'm going to rename mine just for safety concerns with new students. I'm going to call it Old 3. And when I launch Maya, it sends everything back to factory default. Okay, another one. All my, you might have went and got rid of these. I don't know. Somebody usually right clicks on here and goes, well, I don't need my toolbox anymore for some reason, and I don't need my status line or my interface at all, or my shelves. And then how do I get those back? Display, UI elements, show all UI elements. All right, so that's all the ones I could think of off the top of my head, but those are always asked. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Might not seem relevant now, but later on you're going to be loving it. Enjoy.